Tonight, Lord, I come before you at the end of a long and heavy day. The world outside has grown quiet, the lights have dimmed, and the noise of the day has slowly faded into the stillness of this night. But inside my heart, the weight of this day is still here. I can feel the echo of conversations that stayed with me, the responsibilities that pressed deeper than I expected, and the quiet emotions I carried quietly because I didn't have the strength to speak them out loud. My body is tired, my thoughts feel worn, and my heart carries that gentle heaviness that settles in when a day has asked more from the soul than it was ready to give. And even in this tiredness, I come to you, because deep inside, I know that your presence is here with me tonight. And in your presence, my heart can begin to rest. There were moments today that may have looked ordinary to others, but they felt heavy on the inside. Moments where I pushed through my responsibilities while my spirit felt thin. Moments where I smiled even though my heart felt unsettled. Moments where I held my emotions quietly because opening them would have taken more strength than I had. There were quiet disappointments, unspoken worries, silent hopes that didn't unfold the way I wished they would. And now, as the night grows still, these feelings gently rise to the surface, not to overwhelm me, but to be placed into your hands. So here I am, Lord, in this quiet moment at the end of the day, breathing slowly, letting the noise inside me soften, letting the weight begin to loosen its grip. I do not need to rush. I do not need to pretend I am stronger than I feel. I do not need to hold every burden in place. I simply need to be here with you where my heart can be honest, where my soul can be real, and where the tired parts of me are safe enough to rest. Help my thoughts slow down, Lord. Help my spirit exhale. Help the rhythm of my heart fall gently into calm. Let your peace move through me, the way evening light fades across the sky, slow, steady, unforced. Let it rest on the places inside me that feel tense, on the worries that linger quietly beneath the surface, on the corners of my heart that simply feel worn. Wrap my soul in your presence the way night wraps the earth in stillness, reminding me that I am seen, I am known, and I am not alone here. You know the concerns that followed me through this day, the responsibilities waiting for tomorrow, the questions I still don't have answers for, the quiet fears that sometimes speak louder when the world becomes silent at night. You know the weight I carry for the people I love, the hopes I hold for my family, the burdens I keep close because I care deeply, even when it costs more than I admit. And tonight, instead of holding all of it on my own, I place it gently into your hands, one worry at a time, one thought at a time, one ache at a time. I release the pressure to always be strong. I release the expectation that I must always hold everything together. I release the fear that tells me I must face tomorrow already knowing every answer. Tonight, I give myself permission to rest, not because every problem is solved, not because every situation is complete, but because I trust that your care continues even while I sleep, and because I believe that I do not walk through any part of my life alone. I think back to other nights like this, nights when I felt weary, uncertain, stretched thin, and yet somehow I made it through. There were days I thought I would not have the strength to finish, and yet here I am, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward, even with a tired heart. And when I look back, I can see it now, the quiet thread of your faithfulness woven through my story, through seasons of joy and seasons of heaviness, through long days and quiet nights, just like this one. You were there when I did not see it. You held me when I did not know I was being held. You carried me through moments I thought I was walking alone. So even in my weariness tonight, I am not hopeless. Even in this heaviness, I am not abandoned. Even in my tiredness, I am not without peace. Because I know even when I feel fragile, I am still held by a love that does not fade, a presence that does not leave, a grace that does not run out at the end of a long and heavy day. And as the night becomes quieter, my heart becomes quieter too. Little by little, the weight grows lighter, the noise grows softer, the day begins to slip gently into the past. I loosen my grip on the worries that clung to my thoughts. I let go of what I can no longer carry. I surrender the burdens I was never meant to hold alone. And in this soft, quiet stillness, I begin to feel it slowly, gently, calmly, your peace. The kind of peace that does not rush, does not demand, does not push, but simply rests over my soul and reminds it that it is safe. Tonight, Lord, I place this day in your hands. Every moment, every feeling, every effort, every silent prayer. I place my heart in your care, trusting that while I sleep, you remain near, you remain faithful, you remain God. And as the night settles deeper and my eyes grow heavy, I rest in this truth that even after a heavy day, I can find peace, I can find comfort, I can find rest here with you. And now, Lord, as I sit here in this quiet night, something inside me begins to shift. The heaviness of the day is still real. The memories are still close. But my heart begins to lean a little more toward trust, a little more toward your care, a little more toward the gentle assurance that I am not walking through any of this on my own. I feel the slow turning of my spirit, not sudden, not loud, but soft and steady, like a small light slowly brightening in a dim room. I am still tired, but I am no longer carrying this weariness by myself. There are things in my life that I do not fully understand, questions without clear answers, paths that feel uncertain ahead of me. Sometimes those uncertainties try to settle in my heart and make a home there, whispering worry into quiet moments, stirring fear when I try to rest. But tonight, I do not hold those questions with clenched hands. Tonight, I open my hands before you, and I place them into your care. I do not need to see the whole road. I do not need to understand every reason. I only need to trust that you are with me in every step, and that your presence is enough for this moment. There have been seasons in my life when I felt fragile like this before. Seasons where my confidence felt thin, where my strength felt small, where my hopes felt delicate and easily shaken. But through every one of those seasons, you remained faithful. You sustained me when I felt weak. You calmed my fears when my thoughts would not rest. You carried me through days that felt heavier than I could explain. And tonight, as I remember those moments, I am reminded that the same God who carried me then carries me now. And as my heart leans into that truth, I hear the gentle echo of your word, a promise that speaks softly into my spirit, like comfort placed carefully into tired hands. Cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. And as I breathe those words in, I begin to do exactly that. One care at a time, one worry at a time, one quiet fear at a time. I place them into your keeping. I do not rush the process. I do not force my heart to feel okay all at once. I simply allow myself to release slowly, honestly, gently, trusting that your care is deeper than every burden I carry. With each breath, the weight grows lighter, not because my circumstances have changed in this moment, but because my soul is no longer trying to carry everything alone. I begin to feel your comfort settle into the tired corners of my heart, the parts of me that have felt stretched, the parts that have felt overlooked, the parts that have quietly whispered, "I don't know how much longer I can hold this." And into those places, you speak peace. Into those fragile spaces, you speak strength, not the strength of striving, but the strength of being held. I realize, Lord, that I do not have to be unbreakable to be faithful. I do not have to be fearless to be loved. I do not have to be strong every moment to remain in your care. You meet me in my weakness, not my perfection. You meet me in my honesty, not my performance. And tonight, that truth becomes a gentle shelter over my heart. So I let myself rest in that shelter. I let myself lean into your comfort, the way a tired soul leans into a quiet room at the end of a long day. I allow your peace to move through my thoughts like a soft, steady river, smoothing the rough edges of my worries, softening the restless places inside me, calming the emotions that still feel unsettled from the hours behind me. And as I rest in that calm, I begin to feel gratitude rising within me, quiet, humble, deeply real. Gratitude for the strength that carried me through this day, even when I did not notice it in the moment. Gratitude for the grace that covered my mistakes, the patience that held me when I felt frustrated, the simple mercies that appeared in small, ordinary places I might have otherwise overlooked. Gratitude that even when life feels heavy, your faithfulness remains steady. And as that gratitude settles into my spirit, something inside me becomes lighter, softer, steadier. I do not feel rushed. I do not feel pressured to resolve every emotion tonight. Instead, I feel invited to trust, invited to rest, invited to let this night become a gentle doorway into peace. Little by little, my heart loosens its grip on everything I cannot control. Little by little, my spirit releases the need to fix, to analyze, to hold every burden close. Little by little, I sink deeper into the quiet assurance that I am safe in your hands, not because I am strong, but because you are faithful, you are near, and you do not let go. And as the night deepens, my breathing slows, my thoughts grow kinder, my heart feels supported rather than strained. I am no longer standing alone beneath the weight of the day. I am resting beneath the shelter of your care. And in this gentle stillness, trust begins to feel natural, peace begins to feel possible, and rest begins to feel close. And now, Lord, as this night grows deeper and the world becomes quieter around me, I feel my heart continuing to settle slowly, gently, peacefully. The thoughts that once felt loud now feel softer. The worries that once pressed heavily now feel distant, and my soul begins to rest in the quiet assurance that I am safe here, held here, and surrounded by your presence in this moment. I am no longer carrying the day the way I was before. Little by little, it has begun to slip away, and in its place, a calm and steady peace begins to fill the spaces where tension once lived. I know that tomorrow will bring its own responsibilities, its own decisions, its own unknowns. But tonight is not the time for tomorrow. Tonight is not the time for solving, or planning, or carrying. Tonight is the time for stillness, the time for trust, the time for allowing my body, my mind, and my heart to release their weight and enter into rest beneath your care. I do not need to hold the world together. I do not need to hold myself together. I only need to rest in the truth that you are watching over me, even when my eyes close and my thoughts drift into sleep. There is something sacred about these quiet hours of the night when the world slows and the noise fades and the soul finally has room to breathe. In this stillness, I am reminded that I am more than my worries, more than my fears, more than the pressures of the day. I am your child, resting in the safety of your presence, not striving, not struggling, not carrying, simply resting. And as I breathe slowly, I feel my body beginning to relax, shoulders softening, breath deepening, heartbeat easing into a gentle rhythm. The day is no longer gripping me. The weight no longer holds me the way it did before. I am not fighting the tiredness anymore. I am welcoming it, letting it lead me gently toward the rest my soul has been longing for. Thank you, Lord, for this place of peace. Thank you for meeting me in my weakness instead of demanding my strength. Thank you for inviting me to rest instead of pushing me to endure. Thank you for reminding me that I am not alone, not in the daylight, not in my struggles, not in the quiet of this night. Your presence is steady, your comfort is near, and your love remains, even when the world feels silent. And as I rest in that truth, I feel a quiet confidence growing inside me, not loud or dramatic, but soft and steady, like a warm light glowing gently in the dark. I know that whatever tomorrow holds, I will not face it alone. I know that whatever lies ahead, you will walk with me through it. I know that even when I do not feel strong, your strength is enough for me. And that knowing allows my heart to release even more, to soften even further, to surrender the last pieces of tension still lingering inside me. Little by little, I let go of today. I let go of every weight I was never meant to carry. I let go of the worries that tried to follow me into the night. I let go of fear, and I rest in trust instead. I rest in the assurance that you watch over me as I sleep, just as you have watched over me through every moment of my life. And as my heart settles into that trust, I hold on to the gentle promise of your word, a promise that wraps the night in safety and fills the soul with peace. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. And with those words resting softly upon my spirit, I allow myself to sink deeper into calm, deeper into quiet, deeper into rest. My thoughts drift slowly. My breathing grows steady. My soul feels sheltered beneath your care. I do not resist the stillness. I welcome it. I do not fear the night. I rest within it, knowing that your peace surrounds me, your love holds me, and your presence keeps watch over me. So tonight, Lord, I release this day into your hands. I release every worry, every memory, every lingering thought. I release the past behind me and the future ahead of me, and I rest right here in this moment, safe, calm, covered, and completely at peace in you. And as sleep gently comes, I do not fall into darkness. I fall into your care, trusting that while I rest, you remain awake, you remain faithful, you remain near. And with that assurance, I rest. I rest in peace. I rest in safety. I rest in your love. Amen.